Holler at your boys, guys. This is Mr. Nolan's back again from his classroom making one more video. This one, we have a nice little foldable. Looks something like this. Now, I'm always hungry. I don't know why, but I'm always hungry. So what we're going to do is something called a hamburger fold. So you take your paper and you fold it like a hamburger. Or if you want to use math terms, I want a nice horizontal crease. So this is a horizontal fold. So here we are going to be talking about writing equivalent decimals and percents. The first form we're going to do is from decimal to percent. Okay, so if we open up our foldable. Now, step one, we're going to use something called Dr. Pepper or decimal W, which means if you are going from a decimal to a percent, you move the decimal places, you move the decimal point 2 places to the right. If you don't understand moving the decimal, then just take your decimal and multiply it by 100. Step 2 is you just add a percent sign. So for example, if we have 0.23 and I want to know what percent is that, you take the decimal and you move it 2 places to the right. What do I have now? I now have 23 and add your percent sign. You're done. You just converted a decimal to a percent. Well, what happens if you have this? And now I say convert 1.27 to a percent. Again, you take your decimal and move it 2 places to the right. Well, I now have 127%. But what if I have this one right here? I have a decimal of 3.165. And I want to turn that one into a percent. Again, you take your decimal and you move it 2 places to the right. You now have 316.5%. It's that easy, guys. You're done. Alright, the second one we're going to do now is going from a percent to a decimal. So first of all, it says write the percent without the percent symbol. Put the decimal at the end of the number. Step 3 says use Dr. Pepper or decimal W. But this time, if you're going from a percent to a decimal, you have to move the decimal point 2 places to the left, or you divide by 100. So let's say I have 13%. Now I want to know what that is as a decimal. Well, the first step to do is to get rid of that percent sign. Second step, if you don't have a decimal, you put it at the very end. Step 3 is to move the decimal 2 places to the left. 1, 2. So your decimal would be 0.13. Nice and easy there. Let's say you have this one now. 62.5%. It says turn it into a decimal. Some of you are going to say, Mr. Nolan, it already has a decimal. Just get rid of the percent sign. Your answer is 62.5. That's wrong. Alright, here's what you're going to do. First step, get rid of that percent sign. Now it says put the decimal at the ends. Well, we can't do that because we already have a decimal. Leave the decimal there. All we do is step 3 now. Move it 2 places to the left. 1, 2. So your answer is 0.625. There's your percent. There's your equivalent decimal. Let's try one more. Let's say we have 2%. Step 1, write it without the percent sign. Step 2, do I have a decimal this time? No, I don't. So we have to put the decimal at the end. Step 3, move the decimal 2 places to the left. 1, 2. Well, look at this empty space I have right there. Add your 0. So your equivalent decimal would be 0.02. Alright guys, turning decimals to percents and percents to decimals. All you're doing is moving your decimal either to the right 2 places or to the left to the 2 places. So just remember that song. What is that? To the right, to the right, to the left, to the left. Man, I should be a singer. Alright guys, hopefully these notes help. Have a good evening. Bye.